Hi, and welcome to America Becomes a World Power Imperialism. And in this video, we're going to look at big stick diplomacy, dollar diplomacy, and moral diplomacy. Okay, so let's begin. So the first type of diplomacy or relationship that we're going to look at is big stick diplomacy. And this is made famous, of course, by Theodore Roosevelt. We've already alluded to it a little bit earlier in a previous video, but this is what big stick diplomacy is. And I'm going to quote Roosevelt from 1905. "We have become a great nation, forced by the fact of its greatness into relations with other nations of the earth, and we must behave as beseems a people with such responsibilities. We must show not only in words but in our deeds that we are earnestly desirous of securing their good will by acting toward them in a spirit of just and generous recognition of all of their rights. But justice and generosity in a nation, as in an individual, count most when shown not by the weak but by the strong. No weak nation that acts manfully and justly should ever have to cause to fear us, and no strong power should ever be able to single us out as a subject for insolent aggression." So essentially what Theodore Roosevelt is articulating here is that the United States will essentially relate to other nations from a position of power, that this is the United States' responsibility, and that Theodore Roosevelt will fulfill that responsibility through a strong navy and military, as I've already stated. Okay, let's take a look at the next type of diplomacy, and this type of diplomacy is known as dollar diplomacy. And basically what President William Howard Taft is arguing here is that the goal of diplomacy was to create stability and order abroad that would best promote American commercial interests. So let me read a quote from Taft from 1912. "The diplomacy of the present administration has sought to respond to modern ideas of commercial intercourse. This policy has been characterized as substituting dollars for bullets. It is one that appeals alike to idealistic humanitarian sentiments, to the dictates of sound policy and strategy, and to legitimate commercial aims. It is an effort frankly directed to the increase of American trade upon the axiomatic principle that the government of the United States shall extend all proper support to every legitimate and beneficial American enterprise abroad." So basically what he's saying here is that he is going to, through spending of financial resources, to create stability in which American businesses will be able to prosper in foreign lands. And that's basically dollar diplomacy. Okay, the last type of diplomacy we'll look at is moral diplomacy. And this is essentially the policy of President Woodrow Wilson. And I'll read a quote from Wilson, dated 1913. "There has been something crude and heartless and unfeeling in our haste to succeed and be great. Our thought has been, let every man look out for himself, let every generation look out for itself. While we reared giant machinery which made it impossible that any but those who stood at the levers of control should have a chance to look out for themselves, we had not forgotten our morals. We remembered well enough that we had set up a policy which was meant to serve the humblest as well as the most powerful, with an eye single to the standards of justice and fair play, and remembered it with pride, but we were very heedless in a hurry to be great." So essentially what Woodrow Wilson is hearkening back to is this idea of don't forget that we are a moral nation, that we are a nation that is committed to doing the right thing. Okay, that concludes this video, and thanks for watching.